Good morning, gang. Happy Thursday morning. All right, I've got an interesting day ahead of me. And it's probably a topic that a lot of you might have to deal with if you even know about. Tonight, there is a county commissioners meeting here in my area. And, of course, we're going to discuss critical problems that the county has. One of which is the homeless situation that we have all of a sudden. Now, I want to give you a little bit of info here just to give you an idea. The county I live in is not what you'd consider wealthy by any means, okay? Sure, there are $1 million homes around the lake, no problem. But the median income in my county is $45,000, about 10 grand less than or about 20% less than the U.S. median income, okay? So you would say this is a working poor area for the most part, okay? Beautiful country, great people, et cetera, but hardworking people that are mostly tradesmen, ranchers, farmers, et cetera, okay? So not rich by any means. Which means things like schools, taxes, roads, all that sort of stuff that has to get paid by us is a little bit of a burden, okay? And maybe your area is the same. Maybe you live in, I don't know, Park City, Utah, and you've got more money than you know what to do with. Can't say. But for the most part, I'm betting that we don't all have silver spoons in our mouths. The issue that we're running into here is homeless campgrounds popping up all over the place. People coming in with, maybe it's tents, maybe it's an RV, whatever, and parking, if you will, don't have a permanent address or anything like that. And, of course, there's no sewer system, there's no water or whatever, so you get into those types of issues. You also get into the fact that, and maybe a lot of you guys have kids or grandkids, you can relate to this, sending the kids to school. And because these people may be transient, the kids haven't had a consistent education, so they are behind. Let's use that as a term. Well, the kids go to the schools, and of course, every teacher can answer this one. They pretty much have to teach to the lowest common denominator in their class, okay? To keep everybody going. Whoever is the kid furthest behind that's where the lesson plan goes, and everybody else who's above it just kind of has to deal with it until that kid catches up, right? Because we got to pass everybody. Well, they drag the test scores down. The standardized tests, how schools get funded, things like that. So that, of course, now affects the federal money, Department of Education money, that goes into the school system. So it's a vicious circle, because then if the schools have less money, then they can't hire teachers. If they don't hire teachers, everything just keeps going down. This is the big problem. Okay. As we watch the federal government spending hundreds of billions of dollars in Ukraine, tens of billions of dollars in Taiwan, tens of billions of dollars in Israel, and God knows, voting themselves a pay raise, okay, all this other wasteful spending. The thing they're not concerning themselves with is the homeless problem. Now, to give you some facts here real quick, and this might throw you as, oh my God, I didn't realize this. Take a look at this chart. and granted it's through the end of 2023, you can only imagine that it's going to get worse when we get 2024 numbers in. 653,104 people experienced homelessness last year. Okay. To give you an idea how much that is, that's about the population of Boston. Okay? So an entire major city's worth of people were homeless last year. Now, where you get into the problem with that one, not that that in itself isn't a problem, about 2/3, 60% of those people are single. That means the other 40% of those people are families. That means kids, whole nine yards, that they're in trouble. Yet we don't do anything to get these people back on their feet. You look at the great migration that we are seeing in this country, okay? 180,000 people in California themselves homeless, okay? I mean, if you do just California's homeless population is about the same size as the population of Fort Lauderdale. Are you starting to see the problem here? Then you add crime to this, okay? I look at it and I go, okay, let's see what it was in Tennessee. Let's take Nashville, for example, okay? Nashville's homeless population is up 77% in 1 year. Yeah, we have a great migration. People are moving from California or Illinois or New York or Massachusetts or any of these other uber blue states that are ridiculously mismanaged and completely overtaxed, crime out of control, and they're moving to red states, Florida, Texas, Tennessee, Idaho. Seeing a lot of that. You hear that quite a bit in the news. Then they get down there, and it's cheaper to live. It still ain't cheap. A one-bedroom apartment in Nashville is $1,400. The average rent across the country is $2,000. Okay, $1,400 for a one-bedroom apartment, and 40% of our homeless right now are families. So what do? They don't have a choice but to live in a camper, live in their car, live in a tent, because that's what they can afford. They may be working. There's a lot of homeless that are working and can't afford a place to live. That's beyond scary. That you can be a contributing member of society and cannot afford basic necessities like shelter, okay? The old joke you hear, if it comes to a choice between paying for your house or paying for your car, pay for your car, because you can live in your car, but you can't drive your house, right? It's a sick reality, and a lot of people, that's what they wind up having to do. You ever go try to find a place to park? I remember driving cross country 10 years ago from Boston to Utah, and I stopped in a Walmart parking lot in the middle of the night. Figure, okay, I'm going to sleep in the car, so I keep driving along. And of course, I was tap, tap, tap on the window by the police. Sir, you need to move on. Okay. So these people end up going somewhere else. Not everybody is gainfully employed that's homeless. There's plenty that are criminals. Okay. Then we also bring in all the illegals, the 10 million plus of them what we have, okay? You start looking at what they do. Well, they're bandying together. Anybody familiar with Oakland County, Michigan? Okay, I am. It's where I went to high school. Okay. Oakland County is a suburb of Detroit, Detroit being Wayne County. It's a relatively wealthy county. Okay, there's some big money in Oakland County. The sheriff, the Oakland County sheriff, is warning people about Chilean roving crime gangs, crime tourism, as he calls it, where these gangs go in, they hit a neighborhood, they scope everything out, and they hit the entire neighborhood in an afternoon. Bust out a window, don't set off an alarm, look for handbags, jewelry, cash, safes, bang, in and out. How many times you leave your home? I've got security cameras. I've got ADT. I've got whatever. That's great. They don't care. And so they come in and break into the houses and pilfer through everything. It's getting to the point where we're going to start looking like Mad Max soon enough. I mean, anarchy is ruling. You guys know as well as I do that the police don't protect and serve anymore, not by their own, not because they don't want to, it's because they can't, okay? They're basically report writers at this point. Oh, your house is broken into? Great. We can't prevent the criminals from doing anything. We'll just come take the report afterwards so you can file an insurance claim. Okay. We see all the stories left and right of when a cop actually does arrest somebody, the courts just let him go free, right? Oh, you raped somebody? No, you murdered somebody. Who cares? You're out of here. I mean, when your first act coming into the United States is committing a crime, okay, crossing the border illegally, what respect do you have for the law? None. When your entire life has been criminal activity, I mean, come on, we only emptied the Venezuelan prisons and sent them all here. What respect do you have for the law? It doesn't matter if it's Venezuelan law or United States law. They don't care. They're going to do whatever they want. Okay. This is where we are. This is what people need to wake up and realize, that more and more people are losing it all. I mean, homelessness went up better than 12% from 2022 to 2023. That's big, okay? If you go back and look at that chart, you can see homelessness was coming down between 2016 and 2019. Between 2020 and 2023, it's gone up. We had a greater number of people wind up in the homeless ranks between 2022 and 2023 by significant numbers than we did when everybody lost their job due to COVID. Okay? To give you that. We had more people go homeless from 2022 to 2023 than we had go homeless from 2019 to 2021, 1 year versus 2. Desperate people will do desperate things. When your kid is hungry, you'll do anything you can to feed them. By no means am I saying that everybody who's homeless is a criminal. No way. Okay. But there are plenty that are. And when they move into your neighborhood, into your area, crime has a tendency to go up, and quality of life has a tendency to go down. I can drive down the main highway here, and It doesn't matter which direction I go, and I can see somebody who's homeless walking down the street. You can usually tell because they've got some sort of backpack on there, or they're pushing a shopping cart, pulling a wagon, or something like that. Okay, it's a long distance between two cities here. There ain't a whole lot in between them. So if somebody's walking, it's not like they're going to work. That might take them 3 or 4 hours to make that walk. It's going to be tough. And the sad part is more and more and more good people are falling into this trap because of the failures of our leadership. Okay? Wasting money left and right, more concerned about paying the pensions off of people in Ukraine than feeding the people in the United States. Raising the minimum wage is not going to help. That just drives inflation up. Okay? Bringing inflation down is what's going to do it, and massaging the numbers with interest rates ain't going to matter. I don't think a whole lot of unemployed or homeless people are overly concerned about what the interest rates are because they ain't borrowing any money. They don't have any income. They're doing whatever they can to feed themselves. We help every holiday season. Of course, you guys know we do the food drive, animal shelter, toy drive, and everything like that. There's only so much that can be done by the community. We don't need to get into a socialist society where everybody who owns a house should now take in the homeless and give them an extra bedroom. No, that's Joe's brilliant idea in a lot of these states, Michigan or whatever, Massachusetts, for how to deal with the illegal problem. That's not a solution, okay? Again, we need to get back to the point of the hand up versus the hand out. Just be careful, because the more illegals that come, and the more people that wind up desperate times call for desperate measures. May not be a desperate time for you, but it may be for somebody else. Again, I talked about a couple of days ago about staying strapped. This is one of the reasons why. Because you don't know how desperate that person is. They may not be trying to kidnap your baby in the shopping cart. They may be trying to grab a loaf of bread. The greatest country on earth, and we have 2/3 people that are homeless. We have a massive drug problem. Contrary to what the federal government tells us, crime is going up. And our politicians are more worried about pronouns than people. Pinball out.